All right, everybody. I hope you're doing well today. I'm going to talk nice and loud. My audio on this computer at home is a little bit cruddy, and I left my microphone at Leaf Hub. So we're going to have to make do with what we've got here today. I'm just going to do a run through of the insertion order form again. I'm going to send out, this link is going to be in an email with all of these materials again. And I just want to reiterate, you see these three files here on my desktop. I'm opening the instruction sheet. Everything on this form is labeled. If you go here to the second page, it takes you line by line what needs to go in each blank. If you're still confused beyond this, that's totally fine, and we can go through it, but I want you to utilize some of these resources that we have. Okay, so we're going to go back and find our editable sheet. So I'm going to go back. So for sake of illustration, I'm hoping you can see this window, but I'm in CRM and I'm going to Agri-Plastics Manufacturing, who is a client of mine, and she has a different junctures expressed interest in doing ads. So I'm opening up my screen here, my insertion order. So she is doing a new ad with me. So let's say she's doing for a simple example, let's say she's doing a month of country culture ads. So we're going to do copy via email. We're going to do copy via email, and here I'm going to do Agri-Plastics Manufacturing. I'm going to do a newsletter ad. And then here, I want to be as clear as possible with this because it was sort of verbalized the other day that maybe I hadn't explained this super well. The posting dates have nothing to do with billing. That is, when is your ad going to start and when is your ad going to end? So we need to know when the campaign is going to start and when it needs to end, when the ad needs to run for the final time. So assuming we would ordinarily give our 5 business days of a buffer, but assuming, say, Michelle at Agri-Plastics was really dragging her feet, they really want this to start as of the first week of May, and they do, and this is factual from my other interactions with her, they produce their own ad copy. So let's assume, for sake of an example, that I don't have to wait on her on a proof for her. It's something that Jess and Michelle are building. Let's say, for sake of example, she is going to send over last minute. It's Friday. We get started next week. She's going to send me over ad copy for the newsletter, so I don't have to worry about that. So my first week of the newsletter is going to be May 5. I don't know if you can see my calendar here, but I'm looking at my calendar. I'm on the 28th, so I'm planning ahead for the month of May. My first insertion is got a deadline on the 5th. This is the one that was more too quick. So it's not going to let me do it for sake of example. We'll fix that before I send it out. But here, in this first spot, I would put 04 05 of 23, or no, 05 of 23, May 5 of 23. If we're assuming that she's running an entire month, I'm going to go all the way to the end, assuming we're only billing her for the 4 weeks, because technically this down here is June. We would go 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can put the billing date, you can put the end date, sorry, we're doing beginning and end date, not billing date. Beginning and end date, we've already decided our beginning date. I can go into the end date, and really probably I would put either Sunday, Monday, or the 31st. Any of these 4 dates would be accurate, because we would be clear of all these insertions. So insertion number 1, insertion number 2, week number 3, insertion number 3, and insertion number 4. So if we cleared all of these, and it goes out at late Friday or early Saturday morning, I'll put my end date as any of these 4 dates. So let's say, for sake of clarity, I've put May 5 as the first date, and then I've put the 31st as the end date. You just want something end of the month that's going to be after that 4th week. It doesn't matter what date you put. Now, this is something that has been very confusing, and I don't know how to explain it better. The rotation, 9 times out of 10, we're not going to be rotating any ad copy. What the rotation is if in an instance like this, you're technically running 4 different ads, okay, over the course of a month. You have 4 different opportunities to put your client's information out in front of the public, in front of our subscriber list. If you would like, and if the client would like to, we can utilize 4 different ads, 4 different ad copies, 4 different pieces of ad artwork that all look different and maybe promote different products for them. We can do that. They can send us in 4 different ones that they have built. It's a little bit labor intensive, and we need to give them a decent amount of lead time. But Jessica and Michelle's team can build those 4 pieces for you in-house. Maybe you only want to do 2, and you want to run each ad 2 weeks in a row. We can do that. That's what this box is for. If you're going to run the same piece of artwork, the same ad, for the entirety of your run, you don't need to put anything here. This has nothing to do with the scheduling. This is just you saying, run the same ad all month, or here's these different pieces of artwork and I want to rotate 2 weeks. That's it. There's nothing to do with the scheduling. You're just letting Jess and her team know we're running the same one all the way through, or here's these 2 different options and I want to rotate 2 weeks. Now, issue bill date has been complicated as well, and I may have contributed to that, at least on the front of Country Culture. It's a little bit more straightforward with Country Folks and Country Folks Grower, because they have a print date to tie to. What I was always told with regards to Country Folks, if it is early enough in the week, you bill to the week you are working on. For instance, if I am here in the week of May, or in the beginning of May, the week of May 1, and I am turning in an insertion order on Monday, Tuesday, or early Wednesday, I will bill to the 8th. If I turn that order in late Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, I'm going to probably want to bill to the following week, because Michelle is going to be closing out billing for the issue of the 8th. That has been my understanding. I could be wrong there. I could be a little bit shaky on details. We can get clarification on that. But generally speaking, that is how I have always dealt with it. If it's early in the week and billing is open still for this issue of country folks, then that's the issue you're going to bill to. If it's later on in the week and she's closed out billing, we're going to bill to the 15th. With grower, it's a similar concept. It's a little bit less complicated because we only have the one date to worry about. So for instance, if we go back here to where we are in May, or in April, May has already been billed. There's a little bit more leeway there because it's digital. So we can bill to May 1 if we need. But if we get too far into May here, we're going to probably want to go ahead and bill to June. Now, with country culture, there's no print date to tie to. So I have historically told you all, and that was somewhat ignorant on my part, to just bill to whatever date made sense, preferably like a Monday or a Friday. I was told recently by Michelle that that is not necessarily accurate or helpful. In most of these cases, we're going to want to bill to the closest first of the month. So that just makes everything straightforward for Michelle when she's down there billing and making sure everything goes to the proper destination and that everything is scheduled correctly, especially as we're dealing with more like monthly purchases and packages. So for the sake of our example here, I'm going to bill this package. We're starting with the first Friday in May. I'm going to put my issue bill date is May 1. We're running for the entire month of May. So I'm billing Agri-Plastics Manufacturing to May 1. Now we get down here to rotation order. This really is not intended for scheduling purposes. These blanks here. I'm going to say that again. This is not intended for scheduling purposes. The purpose of these blanks works in conjunction with the rotation square, cube, those options there. If Michelle sends me, Michelle Byer, who's my contact at Agri-Plastics, if she sends me 4 different pieces of artwork and says, Andy, we're there, this is true, this is something that's ongoing. We're trying to get some advertising from them. Bruce has also made some contacts and calls on my behalf to them. They have a smaller scale line of handheld farm tools that we're looking to, that would be more applicable for like a country culture type audience versus a larger scale item that they would normally market to the country folks crowd. We're trying to get them into country culture. So there's a lot of options within that line. They have scoops and shovels and brooms and you name it, a lot of different handheld like barn implements. So let's say Michelle gets in contact with me and says, we're doing this run. I have 4 different ads that showcase 4 different types of tools, and I want to rotate through those throughout the month. So let's say I click rotation here, and we're going to rotate on a weekly basis. I can fill this part out. I'm going to bill to May 1, 2023. Now, when I come down here, what I'm going to list is the rotation order for the artwork, not for a specific date. So here we're going to do, let's say, barn shovel ad. You can do, as long as the appropriate information is listed there, there's no rhyme or reason to how we have to do so. I just for ease of access for myself when I'm doing my own orders, I will often just copy and paste. If you drag far enough in your email where it says up at the top, the attachment, if you just click in the blank space and drag, often you can highlight and just copy and paste that file name. That's often what I'll do for myself if I'm using these blanks. So then for me, and again, this is just how I do it for myself, this is going to show up as like barn shovel ad .jpeg, broom ad .jpeg, grain tools .jpeg, and maybe generalized focus ad. So there we have 4 different pieces of artwork showcasing 4 different types of tools that we're wanting to rotate through during the month. So that's why I put them in that order. That's the order that Michelle has told me as her sales rep that she wants to run throughout the month. We're doing these 3 individualized ads, week 1, week 2, and week 3, and then we're wrapping up the month on week 4 with this generalized focus ad that showcases all of it. Okay, we talked through each different component of the line. This is everything we offer collectively together. Now, I'm going to go down here to the links, and I'm going to just copy what I did above. So I'm bringing all of these down here. Again, we're just going week to week. So I'm just repeating what I did above. Now, I'm going to go to, because this is an existing account, an actual real example, I'm going to go, no, that's why I would crop it again. I'm going to go into client info and get their website here. Now, it has come up in conversation with a couple of different people, especially those who use CRM, that some of this information is not available. It is, I promise you. It's more streamlined than what we have for frameworks in the office. But all of this essential information is here. If it's not immediately available, I would encourage you to Google. There are so many websites and databases now that catalog corporate offices and corporate office information. It really would blow your mind what some of the information that's available out on the internet. Things that probably your client would prefer not be out there. Certain people's job descriptions, email addresses, whatnot. It is at the tip of your fingers. All you have to Google is Agri-Plastics Manufacturing, Agri-Plastics Manufacturing website, Agri-Plastics Manufacturing corporate website, corporate office, excuse me, and most of that information will I get whispers of things, of conversations that happen throughout the company and throughout the building, and it's been different things like, well, they don't have a website because Joe doesn't like the internet, Joe doesn't like computers. That may be with regards to that one individual, that one person that you work with, but just because Joe doesn't personally enjoy working with computers or doesn't utilize their website or isn't aware of their website doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So I would just encourage all of us to look outside of the box and sort of start over at ground zero and say, okay, what is out there? Because we do need some type of a website or means of electronic communication to connect their ads with them. So I'm here in CRM on their account page. So I'm going to take their website here and I'm going to take it back over here. So now these things don't actually exist because, again, I made up hypothetical ads, but let's So let's say hypothetically, there's a separate page for this line of small farm tools. So I would need agriplastics.net / small farm tools. That's the website that I want it to redirect to. Now I'm going to go here into my email. I'm going to go here into my email, and I'm going to go to grower for an example. There still seems to be some confusion, and that is fine. We want to meet everybody where they're at. I'm a little bit at a loss on how to explain it better, and that's on me. We're just going to go straight back from the beginning, and I'm going to talk it through, and hopefully it makes sense. We're looking at, hopefully you can see, we should be right. So I am here in the grower newsletter. This is the newsletter that went out for this week. So this is the latest version. And we have the ads here. There's one here for Godex, one here for heavy duty bunk beds. Obviously, there's some house ads, one for EFD and one for country folks. One for seed, whole farm, which I'm not familiar with. Bruce's FMC ad, and then we have a grower placeholder. So there's several different ads at play here, all newsletter ads. So when we're selling, like this is what I would hypothetically be selling to Michelle at Agriplastics. These basically function like big billboards. The goal for these ads, you're not necessarily going to sell product for your client because of this ad. This ad itself is not going to sell product necessarily. Our job with this ad is to grab a reader's attention and pull them in and give the advertiser a chance to connect with them and share their product offerings and say, you have this need, we have this product, we can use that need for you. This is purely brand promotion. We're just trying to grab their eye and pull them in. So because of that, our goal is to get them to focus on that ad. We only have them for a few seconds, their attention span for a few seconds. Our goal is to grab their attention and get them to say, you know what, I want to know more about this, and click on it. Now, we're on the internet, right? When we click something, what does it do? It takes us to a secondary destination. We have to have, the computer has to have directions. It has to have an address. It needs to know where to take us. When we click this first element, in this case the ad, it needs to know where to take us. So I'm clicking the ad. Okay, so we are working. So I clicked the ad, and it took me here to Godex's website. So this is the secondary information. Because we had the link plugged in over here with the ad, that was the address information. So the computer knew when I clicked on that ad, okay, he's wanting to go here. I need to take him here. That's what the link does. It functions like an address. You're telling the computer, I need to go from point A to point B, and this is how to take me there. This is the website name. So we're going to go back to our form. That's what I did here. This page doesn't exist, but if it did, hypothetically, hypothetically, he already has his Codex ad running. But if I was putting that ad in for the first time and I wanted to link to Codex's website, I can either shorten it. This is the important part right here, the HTTPS www.codexinternational.intl.com. That's the main nugget. As long as we have that, we're good. Most of the time, I just copy and paste the whole thing, unless it's too long, which we will see in a moment. So imagining I'm Steve and I'm putting in that Codex tab. Now, see there, it's way too long. It fills up the blank entirely. So remember what I just said. This is the important part right here. Codexintl.com. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back here and I copy and paste it into my blank. So now I have the link. So when Chris is setting up the ad to run in the newsletter, that is the appropriate address information she's able to put to connect that with the ad. So now whenever somebody sees that billboard, that sign, and they say, I want to know more about that, and they click it, the computer knows how to take the reader from point A to point B. This is the address information to get us from point A to point B. Point A being the ad, point B being the website. So same concept. I just made up a page on the Agriplastics web. This is real. The agri-plastics.net/small farm tool or agriplastics.net. That is a real website. I just added the small farm tool page that exists. I just made that up for the sake of our example. But for the sake of my example, this is where I want Michelle's ad to redirect to. That's the point B. They're promoting their small farm line of tools with their ad. I want them to be redirected to that specific page on their website. Now, down here, and I'm not going to type it all out because I have the wrong version of the order. Let me do that for you. But down here, I'm not going to tell people what to do because everybody has a different way of working. I will say this, we are not at a point as a company. This is not reflective on anybody. This is reflective on the fact that we are a little bit behind the curve collectively as a team and that we're still learning. We don't have the luxury of not being detailed in our instructions yet. We haven't gotten to that position where we're able to do that and be confident in the end result. So again, we're not going to tell people how to fill out their orders, but I'm going to say objectively, it is in everybody's best interest to be as detailed as possible in the instructions that we're providing to Jessica and Michelle's team downstairs, and by extension, Krista, as she uploads your ads and gets your ads going. So down here, if there are any additional needs for your ad, if you want it to look a certain way, if you want to use a certain color, if it's important to you that you include a certain line of text or a certain photo, you have got to let them know that. We've had a couple of issues in recent memory with people. I'm going to scroll up here. We've had an issue recently on a couple of occasions with people taking a print ad and just saying, well, I want to run a newsletter ad, and they ran this half page a couple of weeks ago. I'm just going to do an exact repeat of my print ad, fill out my print ad information, and I just want just the two. Those are so completely different animals that she has got to have some direction from you as to this is sort of, so Jessica, I ran this half page or this junior page or this quarter page much information today. And I know we're running this ad that is so much smaller, just a piece of the size that I ran in print. I need to scale this down. So it's important to me that we mention this line of information, and that the phone number and the website are included. I want to include this picture, and I want to include this picture. Can you please make that happen? That is the type of information that we would list down here. We have a problem as a company, and it's just a mindset shift, not anything anybody's doing wrong. It's just not what we're used to. We're used to having this giant area, this giant container. You sell even a quarter page, which in the grand scheme of things is not as big of a space. We're used to, that is it. We're not taking, when somebody opens the paper, that's it. We don't have the opportunity to take them to that second location, that point B, for further information. So when somebody is reading through the paper, that moment in time is all that we have their attention span for. So we have to include, and by we, the advertiser as well, has to include every detail that they can possibly think of to cover every base and make sure that they include everything in that ad. When we're talking about a digital ad, we don't have that limitation. We don't have to include everything in that space. And that's something we've got to differentiate for ourselves and get in the habit of for ourselves of thinking of differently. If you don't include that entire three paragraphs of text, it doesn't mean you're going to lose a sale. If we collectively are doing our jobs well, and we're treating it like that billboard, as brand awareness, making readers aware this company is out there and they offer this service or this product, and we're pulling them in, we have just as much of an opportunity for success at our fingertips as if we had done it the other way. Simple is better. So that is something to keep in mind when we're building this, especially if you're working off of a print ad. We don't want to include all of that information because if it's so busy, so much stuff crammed into that space, I as a reader, if I'm scrolling on my phone and I'm reading that, you've lost because there's just too much going on for me to grab my attention. It's too busy, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know what that says, and I'm scrolling on. In many cases, because when we cram a lot of information, we have to shrink the text size. So especially, even if for me, my eyes are fine, but if it's too busy and it's hard to read, I'm not going to sit there with my phone here for 2 minutes trying to decipher what it says. And if there's anybody out there who is vision impaired, they're not going to spend the time either. So we want to make things as crisp and as big and as bold as we can. And with that, there's a space factor involved. So we need to keep it down to just a couple of lines of text. You're also going to want to let them know where to look for information. So in this case, for sake of our example, I said Michelle sent me completed artwork from Agroplastics Marketing. But let's say she didn't. Let's say there's a photo array, a photo album on this page, and she's told me, hey, Andy, this is sort of the general layout that we're thinking. I want you guys to go on our website and get photos from this page. So I would go down here and say, please grab photos from album on, and on the right form that will display it correctly. But now I've told Jessica and Josh and Michelle where to find those photos. we have got to give them as much information as possible. So once I've got that whole side of the form filled out, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to go back to CRM. I'm going to get their account information. So their account number 53116. I am repping it for you. They're doing, this is a new ad campaign. I'm doing a new ad. I don't need an approval because they have already run. They're already situated. They've already cleared and approved the artwork. So I'm just doing a new ad. I'm going down here to digital newsletter, clicking this box, and then I'm going down here. Now she's just doing, for the sake of our example, she's just doing the 4 weeks of the newsletter. So I'm going, and I'm going to do 56, which is what we charge them per week, times 4 is 224. So I'm charging her $224 for the whole run. This section here is very important. There was some confusion, I think, on, well, I checked the right box up here. Why does it matter if I check this over here? Or it's confusing when it's just twice. This is for layouts point of view. This is for billing. If the right trend code does not get marked, it does not get billed correctly. So it is paramount that the right box is clicked over here. Now, let's say that I am going to do the same thing, but for Facebook. I can talk through this. But we're going to click here for Facebook. When we get down to the bottom, this is something that we're still having issues with. It is important that we include caption text on our Facebook posts. So what I mean is, I'm going over here, this is my personal Facebook account. Bear with me 1 second. I'm trying to find an example that has text on it. Okay. So this is just a page I follow that had shown up in my timeline. The actors here, an update for Hulu's The Bear, one of their award-winning shows from last season. Bob Odenkirk, Breaking Bad fame, is joining the cast. Now, this is formatted a little bit different than an ad would be. Our ads would be a little bit more full, but this is just the formatting of the photo. This works for them. We would typically, ours would come out a little bit more to the edges. Hopefully you can see my cursor. But this is the basic format. When somebody clicks in the timeline and the photo enlarges, the photo of the ad, they would see this blown up here. This is the caption here on the side. You see where my cursor is moving? This sentence, Bob Odenkirk is joining the cast of The Bear for season 2, is the caption. That's what's going to show up no matter what, I don't know why I went to my personal. I could just show you on Country Folks. Okay, so like this is a perfect example. This is a photo that someone sent in. So again, the dimensions are a little bit different, but the actual Facebook ad, if we would fill this out a little bit more, but there would be an image, regardless of how big it is. There would be an image here. Your ad image will be here, and this text over on the side, the Cody Award established in 1983. I won't read the whole thing, but that would be your caption text. And this gives context, this gives life to this photo, because we can throw out randomized photos of things all day long. And even, it may be easy to look at some of them and go, well, it does have the company name on it, and it does have some information about what they're selling. That's great. But we've got to connect people. We've got to connect people with the company. What's the viewers need, and how is this company using it? So, it might be they have the best cultivator on the market. So you've got this photo of this cultivator, and it's got a company logo on it. It's got a couple lines of text, but I've got to pull them in here. So, Random Manufacturing has a history of 90 years of providing the best cultivators on the market. Do you need a cultivator to help prep your garden this summer? Give them a call. We need something that makes that connection when people are reading through. And I think in the past, when I said something like that, people have gotten a little bit overwhelmed or flustered. Well, I'm not really a writer. You're expecting me to come up with this? No, I'm not. In most cases, if you just go onto a client and then the Zoom taskbar is in the way, I was going to try and find an example here. I'm going to give an example that has one. Okay, so this is the wrong rock to do. I have no idea who to find this. I was trying to find another concept of mine, but this one will work. So we're on this farm's website. I'm going to the About Us section. There's so much copy right here about who they are and what they have to offer. It looks like they have some type of dairy line. So if I'm promoting them, I would probably just copy. Well, I could even use most of this paragraph, really and truthfully. It's a little bit long. I might cut it down a little bit. And I might add a little bit to the end. I might shorten this list and something about them being the ideal dairy provider, expect fresh with Rockview. We're the answer to all of your distributor needs. Something, I would come up with something to cap off the end of this paragraph. And this is that's a ready-made Facebook caption. I can take this text, list this, doctor it up a little bit, and have a ready-made description that the company's already written themselves. This is on their website, talking about what it is they have to offer. Because then I can put that on my order, and Krista is going to go, okay, we're going to put the ad here, we're going to upload the ad, and over here, that paragraph is going to be here, and it's going to explain what Rockview has to offer. If you go on to Country Folks, so like this one was my fault. This is the house ad. This needs to have a comment on on it for caption. If you just include your link, so like here on our order, this would be the equivalent of the agriplastics.net/small farm tools. That's all that's going to show up here. Is it adequate? Potentially. But again, I think it just makes having that caption to explain what's going on in the ad just makes it so much more well-rounded and fleshed out. When you are doing a website ad, we have these sizes over here. These are all of the Pub digital sizes. So if we go over here, I have it on my computer. So if we go, this is the same for country folks. As an example, you go to the website page, and it's got our sizes listed out. These are the sizes that we can fit on the grower site. Every site is a little bit different, but all four of these are the options, the only options that we offer company-wide for the Pub. So we don't offer each of these for every website, but regardless of which site you're on, these are the only four options that are available. So for grower, if I look at this list here, I've got the 300 by 250. I go back to the form, I see that here, 300 by 250. I've got the 200 by 200. I go back to the form, that's listed here. And if I go down to the leaderboard, I've got 728 by 90. That's listed here. If I go back here, I go to country folks. Oh, that's interesting. We need to rectify that. So we will get that fixed. That page appears to be missing from the country folks kit, at least from last year. I'm thinking that got corrected. For some reason, I don't have the 23 kits in my desktop here at home. So it should mirror the grower kit, though. Those are the same sizes. If we go out here, culture, if I go here to country culture, it's all listed in context in the package listing. But if I go here, I'm going to cross-reference these as well. Again, the leaderboard, 728 by 90. That's listed here. I go to the rectangle, 300 by 250. That's here on the order form. The cube, 200 by 200. That's available here. Now, we have not taken it out of the media kit because it is currently unavailable. I'm hoping we have some new prospects on the horizon for our website, and I'm hoping we can get this fixed. We do plan on offering that position. It's currently not available due to some technical difficulties, but the skyscraper, and you can, these diagrams are here for a reason, so cross-reference those if you get a little confused. The leaderboard is the one on top. The rectangle and the cube are on the right-hand margin, and the skyscraper will eventually be available on the left-hand margin on the left side of this page. But regarding the size, if I look here, 120 by 600, I go onto the order form. This is great. This is editing and rewrites. That is a little confusing, so we'll make sure that that's fixed. That should be 120 by 628. But that is the right blank. If I was doing a skyscraper ad, that's Rockwell Recycle Kit. Saved. This is the 2021 kit, so obviously it's a little bit behind the curve, but info hasn't changed too much. The Rockwell Recycle newsletter ads are a little bit different. For ease of simplicity, we chose not to include some of the different ones. If you ever run into, we included the 580 by 120 because it's the most frequently used across the board. If you ever run into, I'm selling an ad, which is a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, I would really discourage going smaller, but we're going a little bit bigger than we normally would on the order form. That is something that you're going to go down here to the bottom and include in this box. Just make a note, hey, Jeff and Michelle, we're going to go a little bit bigger, maybe it's 580 by 300. I didn't know there wasn't an option for that, so I'm just letting you know that here. I mean, I would probably, so it's not confusing, you don't bother checking this. Maybe like circle it, print out what you've written, circle it, and then turn it in that way. You can do other sizes if it's going to be different. You do have to let them know, though. You can't just, again, they're not my readers. So if you were to sell something into Rockwell Recycle and that's not available on that size isn't available, you would just note that down here. What I was going to show you was the Rockwell Recycle website ads. We don't make as big of a deal of it anymore as we used to, but we do have a website. It is floating around up there, I think still. This is just another example. And you'll notice these are the same as the country culture kit. We did with these diagrams, but again, in context, this is the leaderboard, the rectangle, the cube, and the skyscraper. I just wanted you to see how that ties into the sheet. It looks a little bit confusing, but if you just cross-reference with your media kit, that information is there. And it'll give you the parameters of what's available for that specific pond as well. That is it, ladies and gentlemen, that I can think of as far as anything to go over. I will say again, I will point you to the sheet again. We are always a phone call away if you have any questions, but these resources were created to be a help and something that you can cross-reference with as you go through. It takes you one blank at a time. So if I go up here to number one, select one of the two options. That's this here. This is an explanation. If the ad material is coming via email, select copy via email. If the ad has already been ordered and you're just ordering a change for this week or this month or whatever, if the ad has already been ordered and a change needs to be made, select add previously ordered. I'm not going to read through everything, but just much in that way, it goes through each blank and explains this is what needs to go here. This is the type of information that needs to go here. So I would just really encourage you to take advantage of this. This is there for a reason. We've had some changing of the guards, some moving around with people. If you would like a laminated copy of this, I had done some copies of this and had them laminated. Let us know. I can send one out to you. You can put it in your rep mail. I can drop it by your desk, whatever the case may be. That is pretty much it. I hope that is helpful to you. Please don't hesitate to let one of us know if you have any questions. We're here all the time, and we're happy to help in any way. Thanks your attention. Have a wonderful day.